Hello. Oh, okay. All right. So, did I put this in Patreon? I don't know if I put it in there yet. No. Okay. Let me post on Patreon. Sorry, give me a second while I post it to my folks. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. All right. So I just got back from the final day of jury selection for the ASAP Rocky trial. I didn't get to go into the courtroom for the whole part of the day. I mean, the whole day. It starts at 10:30. Even jury selection was starting at 10:30. So I got in after lunch. So they go from like 10:30 to about 12. And then after lunch, so they take about an hour or so. And then afterward, I was able to get in. So by the time I got in, I got to hear some of the final questions for the final juror that was selected. Sorry. And I got to hear the final questions for that. And then it was very quick. And they were like, do you guys agree with the panel? Prosecution says yes. Does the defense agree? They say yes. And then they are sworn. And so after that, they moved on to the alternates. And so if you watched YSL, one of the things that came out, I think particularly in my interview with the jurors, is that they didn't know which of them would be jurors and which would not. And so in this case, they do their 12, and then it was like, excuse me. And then it was like, okay, now we need to pick our alternates. So 4 people come up and we'll ask you questions. So everybody will know in this case if they are an alternate or a deliberating juror. So that was just an interesting, I think, piece of information that people all already know. Obviously, you could wind up moving up to be a regular deliberating juror or not. You just don't know. It kind of depends on what happens. So that was that. I kind of wanted to talk some of the questions that came up because it was very interesting to watch. And let me just go through some of the notes so I can do it. So where is this? Is that this? Okay, so one of the questions that the judge asked, which was interesting, it was, do you feel like everyone starts at the same place, like in life, is how I took it. And the woman who was a social worker said, no. And I work with people every day who don't get the same. Forgive me. That don't get the same opportunities, don't have the same privileges as everybody else. And then she said that she brought up George Floyd, and she brought up, she was like, sometimes, when a police officer is behind me, I'm scared. And so they kind of got into that discussion. It was just a very interesting conversation that she was having kind of in front of everyone about her opinions on law enforcement. One of the questions that's always asked to everybody is like, do you have anybody in law enforcement? How do you feel about it? Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry. Yes, I am. My I've been coughing. I think it's the smoke because of the air quality in LA because of the fires. So I've been coughing and like it's just been a lot of stuff going on. So forgive me. Somebody call Greg. Forgive me. I've been trying to manage it, but it's like getting worse. So sorry. Maybe I won't do this for very long because I don't want to be taking a bunch of breaks. But basically, yeah, they had that conversation. They asked a lot of people about law enforcement and their experiences with people in law enforcement. So that's always really interesting. Um, they also, oh, so after that happened though, each side has strikes. So you can be like, I don't want this person on the jury. And the prosecutors struck her. So she is not one of the jurors. It's so bad. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry because it's like difficult. This is not the way I wanted this live to go. But anyway, I need to turn them on or like open a window or something. Anyway, I've been drinking hot tea all day and it's hot outside and I've been drinking hot tea and it's like challenging. And I have cough drops somewhere. Sorry if you're watching this and you're annoyed. So anyway, there are no Black people on this jury. And that was I don't know, like the fact that there's no Black people, I wouldn't want that to be my jury. You guys. Yes, it will be streamed. Let me just answer some of your questions because I might delete this later because I can't even like talk right now. The Fit Lawyer's in here. What's up? Yeah, there's no Black people on that jury. The other thing is, and they were making a stink about it. They were saying there's no Black people. The victim, as well as ASAP, obviously are Black people, and so that was just. They're also didn't seem. This is just visual. To be a lot of younger people. There was a digital marketer who works in music. She was excused. The state excused her. They didn't want her on the jury. So I don't know. The makeup of this jury is very interesting to me. What else I was going to say? I mean, you know what? So there was 106 total jurors, 106. I personally, don't quote me. I feel like I've seen maybe five out of 106. I remember one Black guy. I remember maybe 3 Black women. I don't remember what the 5th person, if it was a man or woman, but they never even got called up. So, yeah. What was the other thing I wanted to tell you guys that was interesting? They, of course, ask about, have you experienced any violence? Oh, the last juror for the last alternate juror is a retired administrative judge. This is killing me. It was a retired administrative judge, which I thought was interesting. Change your house air filter and run the AC. I will tell Greg to do that. Fit Lawyer, love your channel. Thank you. Were you able to tell by the questions what ASAP's defense is going to be? Outside of that starter pistol, I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I would say outside of the starter pistol angle, I couldn't really tell. They were asking questions. I mean, it's an interesting question. So I'm just trying to think through. I would have to look back at my notes because nothing immediately is coming to my mind that felt like it was lending itself to the defense. Oil of oregano. Okay. You know what was interesting about the retired judge? Neither of them asked her to be stricken or anything. So it seems like they were both okay with her on there. I mean, she's also the last alternate, but it was interesting. What else was I going to say? One person I thought was interesting. They asked if they were familiar with A$AP Rocky, and she was like, only through fashion, like through the Met Gala. And so that was interesting because I think so much has been dedicated to like him being in hip hop and you know that kind of music and all of that, and nobody had brought up fashion until she did. So it was like, you know, that being an entryway into him was interesting, you know. The questions about Rihanna, do you know her? Oh, are you familiar with her? One question that was asked that I thought was interesting was if the evidence, I am struggling, you guys. I'm going to give it like 3 minutes and then I got to get off because I am struggling. Okay. The question was, if all of the evidence presented showed that he was guilty, would you be able to say guilty knowing that it would impact Rihanna and her kids? And the juror took a moment and said, I don't have to call. Okay. The juror said, I had never thought about that. But no. And so, yeah, the attorney kind of went more into it, but it was just an interesting question that I hadn't heard before that. No, they did not ask this question. Brooklyn, you being funny. Okay, I'm sorry. This was a terrible live, so I'm probably going to take it down. So if you're here, you caught it, but if you didn't, I'm probably going to take it down. because I can't breathe. So regardless, I will stream tomorrow. I'll either be streaming, watching with you from the house, or I'll be up at the courthouse. It's going to be insane. You have to get there very early if you are going to watch. So it depends. I'm a mom and I got stuff to do. So we'll see. Regardless, there's going to be a bunch of outlets. It's going to be streamed. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting to what the defense, what they say in opening. They're planning to call 2 witnesses. They have 2 for sure. Obviously not determined if Rocky's going to testify. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. 10:30 PST is when it's going to start. So LA time. So what is that? 1:30 y'all time? EST, 10, 11, 12, 1. 1:30 EST. All right. I'm going to go attempt to take care of myself. I definitely might not go if I sound like this tomorrow. So sorry. I hope it was decent. We'll talk soon. See y'all tomorrow.